So Trump just gave a new update on the $2,000 stimulus checks, or what he calls a tariff dividend. He addressed timing, legal risks, and funding questions. Now, this new update shifts expectations for millions of Americans. Here's what actually changed, here's what he actually said, and what it means for you. So, the big update. Trump announced that the checks are not coming in 2025 despite earlier hopes. He says no Christmas or holiday rollout this year. Trump now says that checks are planned for 2026. Of course, not this year. He also reiterated that this will go out to everyone except for the rich. Now, Trump's exact words were, "It will be next year. The tariffs allow us to give a dividend. We're going to do a dividend and reduce debt." So Trump's framed this as both an economic relief and debt reduction. He continues framing tariffs as revenue return to Americans, and we'll talk about why later. But the details behind the quote reveal complications ahead.
On the rebate checks, sir, how soon could Americans see those checks? Will that be in time for Christmas, holiday shopping?
No, not for this year. It'll be next year sometime.
Do you have a time frame?
No, sometime during the year, next year. It's a lot of money, but we've taken in a lot of money from tariffs. The tariffs allow us to give a dividend if we want to do that. Now, we're going to do a dividend, and we're also going to be reducing debt. We have, because of Biden and others, we have a $37 trillion in debt.
So here's the catch here. The Supreme Court might strike down the tariffs that fund the checks. You see, the tariffs were implemented under emergency powers, right? Also known as IEEPA. The court signaled skepticism during recent oral arguments. So if the tariffs fall, the funding simply collapses. Trump openly admits that then I'd have to do something else. Additionally, Congress must approve this, right? Even if tariff survives, Congress must approve the rebate checks. The president can't issue them alone. And several Republicans have already expressed skepticism. Many want Trump to prioritize deficit reduction rather than new payouts, meaning political resistance could slow or block the entire plan, but we'll see. Now, there's also an income limit being discussed here. They're considering an income cap of around $100,000, but it is still in discussion. No numbers are finalized yet. And Trump says the checks will exclude high-income people, but still hasn't defined who that actually is. The income threshold will dramatically change how much the program costs. That's very important, and we'll talk about that right now. You see, you have to understand where the money actually comes from. You see, all Trump tariffs to date equal about $195 billion. Full year revenue could rise if tariffs remain in place, but the estimated cost of this is $300 billion if capped at under 100K earners. So we made $195 billion, but the costs are $300 billion. And some experts say that it'll be around $464 billion based on prior COVID era estimates of $2,000 payments. So we have a big math problem here because tariff revenue don't fully cover the $2,000 checks. Even optimistic tariff projections fall short. The funding gap ranges from $100 billion to $250 billion, depending on eligibility rules. Without additional revenue or budget adjustments, the payout can't be fully funded. And this is one of the biggest barriers to the 2026 timeline. Additionally, we have Supreme Court risk here. You see, the court is skeptical that Trump can even use the IEEPA law to impose tariffs. You see, the law doesn't mention tariffs at all, making the case legally fragile. If Trump loses, tariffs could be rolled back immediately, and he might even have to refund previously collected tariffs, creating a massive fiscal hole for the United States. So if tariffs vanish, so does the funding mechanism for these checks. And as you can expect, public outrage for this is building. Many Americans are frustrated by the uncertainty. Earlier messaging suggests that checks could arrive sooner. Now the Supreme Court case threatens the entire plan. And not only that, Trump's saying that they're coming in 2026 now. Supporters feel the government is delaying relief that they were promised. Critics argue the plan was simply unrealistic from the start. So public pressure is growing and both parties are responding. So here's the reality of it all. The promise is that $2,000 checks are going to be paid by tariff revenue. But the reality is that legal challenges threaten the revenue source. Existing tariff revenue isn't enough. Congress must authorize the rebate and may resist this. And political uncertainty remains extremely high. So if the tariffs get blocked, Trump says he'll do something else, but he indicated no backup plan. Any alternative would require new legislation, new taxes, or a new funding source. Those options are slower, more complicated, and harder to pass than the $2,000 checks themselves, meaning the fallback path is unclear and politically risky here. But despite that, public hope still remains high. Despite the delays, millions are still hopeful here. You see, $2,000 would provide real relief during high inflation conditions. Many see the payout as a chance to catch up on bills or savings, maybe both. Trump's base believes he will deliver if the legal barriers fall. The 2026 timeline has people watching closely as elections approach here. Now, the bottom line is that the checks are possible, but not guaranteed. It depends on the following. Ruling determines if funding exists. Congress must pass the rebate. When it comes to funding, the revenue gap must be closed, and that remains to be seen on how they'll do that without taxing American people. And the 2026 political strategy is in question, right? Timing matters more than expected. And maybe one of the reasons why he wants to push this into 2026. So, what are your thoughts on the new update? Let me know in the comments. Do you think it's going to happen? Do you think that it is BS? Let me know. And I need you to do something for me. Make sure you like this video so this update can go out to more Americans. I think more people need to hear about this and need to know about it. Also, subscribe to the channel for further updates. My name is Karan, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.